I'm Billy Oliva, executive chef for the Delmonico's Restaurant Group. Today we're going to make broiled ribeye steaks with fresh herb butter, or as we like to call it, the Delmonico steak, which was invented here back in the 1800s. The Delmonico steak, fresh herb butter. Let's get started. So here are all our ingredients, what we're going to be cooking today. Here's our ribeye, or our Delmonico steak. It's my favorite cut of steak. Nice marble, beautiful marble. This one here, what we sell at Delmonico's, is about 22 ounces. Gonna just melt when we cook it. Gonna have a great, tender, flavorful steak. And then with the addition of the herb butter, just gonna be out of this world. Here's our ingredients. Very simple again. We have some fresh, unsalted butter that we've cut into cubes. And this is just to show you, we've whipped it in our Roboku, just to soften it up, smooth it out. Same ingredient, just different stages. We have a whole bunch of herbs here. We have chives, Italian flat leaf parsley, some thyme, some rosemary. You can use whatever herbs you like. We have a little bit of fresh lemon that we're going to give a squirt into the butter just for a little bit of acid. Some shallots here that have been diced up for us. Just a little sea salt, fresh cracked pepper, and later our crispy onions that are going to garnish our Delmonico steak. So we're going to start our herb butter. Very simple. Just going to mix all these ingredients. Here we have our whipped butter. Going to add some of this here to our bowl. I'm going to use a little chives, a little Italian parsley, just a touch of rosemary. Rosemary is a strong herb. I wouldn't use too much. Just a little bit of thyme. We have our shallots. Put some of those in. Going to season this with a little fresh ground pepper, a little sea salt, a squirt of lemon juice for a little bit of acid. Butter is nice and soft, so it's easy to mix. Really gonna be a great accompaniment to the steak. And we'll take a look at it. And if we think it needs more herbs, we can always adjust it. A little more chives, a little more parsley. Good ratio of herbs to butter. Get a nice standout on the flavor. In the restaurant, we make a lot of it. We roll it out with wax paper, wrap it in plastic, and we freeze it. At home, you don't have a freezer like that, so very easily, a little plastic container, put it in the freezer, take it out when you need it, let it soften up, and you're ready to go. So our herb butter is done. Now we have our beautiful Delmonico steak or ribeye steak. We're going to get this ready to go on our broiler. Our broiler is preheating. Always very important, broiler has to be hot. So we're going to season our steak. First thing we're going to do, a little oil. Going to just kind of rub that on both sides of the steak. Very important when you're cooking underneath the broiler. Add a little bit of that extra fat. Helps give it a nice color. It won't stick to the grill. As you can see, I'm using plenty of salt. We always season both sides. I know it looks like a lot. When it goes to the grill, to the broiler, a lot of the salt is going to fall off through the cooking process. So we have our Delmonico steak, or our ribeye steak. I'm going to put it on this broiler. This is the broiler we use here in Delmonico's. Hear it as soon as it goes on, you can hear it sizzle. And what we want to do, want to get a nice caramelization on both sides. Okay, so our Delmonico steak, or our ribeye steak, is broiling. And one important tip, not a lot of people do this, it's very important. If you can, you always want to take your meat out of the refrigerator, kind of let it come to room temperature. Before you put it underneath the broiler, or before you put it on the barbecue, whatever you're doing. Never want to take it out of the fridge, cold, put it to a hot grill. Just think about that, what that sounds like, something very cold, go into a hot grill, it gets tight, it gets tough, it doesn't cook properly. So good thing to remember, always try and let your meat come to room temperature before you actually place it in the heat. We're going to pull it off. As you can see, great color on both sides, beautiful caramelization. You know, that nice, beautiful color, just an incredible flavor, nice crust when you cut into it. So our steak has been resting for a few minutes, which is another crucial thing. Always want your steak, your meat to rest a few minutes, let those juices and the meat relax. So we're going to put it on a quick sizzle plate here. And here we have some herb butter that's been sliced for us, and we're just going to take a nice big chunk of that herb butter, top it back. We're almost ready to serve. The herb butter on the steak, we just want to melt it slightly back underneath the broiler, and then we're going to plate it. So we've taken our steak out of the oven. Butter has melted slightly. This steak doesn't need anything more than just a little bit of crispy onions, and just going to put a little pinch of sea salt. And there you have it. Broiled ribeye steak, fresh herb butter, or like we like to say here in Delmonico's, broiled Delmonico steak. And that's how you broil a ribeye steak with fresh herb butter. I'm Executive Chef Billy Oliva for the Delmonico's Restaurant Group. For more information, more recipes, you can check us out at delmonicosrestaurantgroup.com. Now let's eat.